Okay, let me start off with quick introductions. Hi, I'm Dave Kuhar. I'm Director of Web Technologies for the University Communications team. My team is Web Technologies. I'm coming to you from beautiful Willoughby, Ohio in Northeast Ohio, and with me from Keene, New Hampshire is...
Hey everyone, I'm Justin Rent. As Dave said, I work remotely here for Stanford from Keene, New Hampshire. I'm a senior UI UX developer, and I've been here for roughly 1 year. It was 1 year on, actually 1 year, April 5th, so a month ago. A year and a month. So
there's a third member of our team, JB Christy, who would die to be here, but she's in the process of, she moved to Eugene, Oregon, and she's getting a new house. So the house is being inspected right now. So she's there instead of with us. So she sends her regards. This is what we're going to talk about today, really quickly, where you can get more information, documentation and whatnot. We'll talk about promotion, how permissions are handled. I have a few quick tips for you. And then Justin.
Yeah, I'm going to cover some of the sort of nuances in the editorial form and how those things display on the front end. So I'll look at the differences between in-person, virtual, and hybrid events. I will look at image preparation for both the events you might be entering and or the place, department, or group pages you might manage. I'm going to look at widgets and how those can be used, how we've set those up. I'll talk a bit about some custom fields we've added to the system, and then I'll wrap up my part with a discussion around a new feature we're releasing very soon called bookmarking.
Okay, so first of all, if you haven't been there, I urge you to check out events-help.stanford.edu. In addition to some work we did with UIT's tech training to put together some, basic introductory stuff. There's an overview video and a few others that are sprinkled throughout the site. There is pretty extensive documentation across every aspect of the system that you'd like to use. As we learn more about our users and what confuses them or what they need to know more about, we do add more content into that events documentation site. And soon we will add a blog to this system so that when there's new features released, we've got a few that we're rolling out over the next 12 or 18 months, or we discover something cool or different that people should know about, we're going to put it in a blog. And initially, we're going to take everybody who's an event or group admin, add them to a mailing list, and basically subscribe you to our blog. And of course, you're welcome to immediately unsubscribe, but we hope you don't, because we hope to continue offering more information in that form. Okay, so one of the things people ask us about all the time, and this relates even back to the old system, people want to have their events featured so that they show up on the home page of the site. And on the old site, we were in full control of everything. There was no algorithm doing any work at all. So if we click the button that made you a sponsored event, you would show up there. Localist is different in that there is an algorithm behind it all that decides what is presented to the users. You may notice as you surf around on the site, the things aren't always listed chronologically. They've taken the view that in a lot of places, things aren't listed chronologically anymore. They're really looking at the user and determining what's going to be of most interest to them. A lot of it's based on engagement. So we can help by featuring an event. You can contact us via a Snow form, and we'll hit the flag that adds you to that and gives you a little bit of a boost in the algorithm. But other ways you could do that really is by promoting yourself through other channels. So if you get more page views, if you get more people clicking that little bookmark icon on Localist to save the event into their personal event list, if you share on social media or if other people share, all of those are figured into the algorithm. So what I've shown here on the right-hand side in this graphic, a lot of people probably haven't noticed this. When you're creating your event, it's all over here on the left side. On the right side, you see the event reach score and you see promotion. And if you click new post and click either Twitter or LinkedIn, it'll enable you to connect your personal Twitter or LinkedIn account to the event and promote it via those channels. Other people could do the same, and they would promote the exact same event, but it would be through their channels. You can even bulk schedule posts on different channels. And then via email, you can craft an email right here in the system and send it out to, say you've got 15 people what you want to send it invitation to, you can send it to them through the system itself. So that's a pretty cool thing that we've really never exposed very much before. Finally, there's the localist widgets that Justin will talk about later. By placing your events on your site using a widget, which is the easiest way to do it, you can drive traffic from your own site or sites back to localists. And again, that counts into the engagement numbers. And then finally, of course, all the usual SEO rules apply. So the more descriptive your text, the more descriptive text you put in there, the more the algorithm is going to like your event, just like Google. So make sure you don't just do the basics, add more information in there. Talking about permissions, this is a weird thing about localists. Usually permissions stack. And by that, I mean, the basic user has this many things they could do. And then the next level has all those plus more, and then plus more as you go up the ladder in terms of permissions. Localist doesn't do it that way. It's really more affiliated capabilities. So a basic user, that's your casual browser. In the old system, they couldn't log in at all. Now they can. They have a dashboard. They can like things. They can follow each other, but they don't have any access to the back end. We set people up as event admins, which gives them the ability, of course, to publish events. And we are setting folks up with specific department or departments that they want to post for. So if you work, say you're Aaron Cole and you work at Stanford Earth, you're going to want to have the ability to post for Earth. But there might be instances where there are other entities on campus that you co-sponsor with. You're going to have to add them added to your event admin access just so that you can tag them as a co-sponsor. So when you ask us for access, you can request as many or as few departments and groups as you want. Group admins work much the same way, but instead of administering events, they administer the group or the department's landing page. So if you click on Stanford Earth and you're gonna see their landing page, there is a person who can be assigned to go in there and edit that information in any way they see fit. And then finally, like I mentioned down here, we have a short link to the snow form. So when you get this deck, you'll be able to click on that and go there, or just remember event calendar access request form. Here's my quick tips. I'll tell you how to duplicate an event. I'll tell you about the metrics menu, and I'll tell you about adding images somewhere other than the image drop zone that you have when you're creating an event. Just got this question the other day, and I didn't even know this. What if you have an event that you only you sponsor it sporadically, or you present it sporadically? You can't set it up as a recurring event, but you do want to just take the same information and move it forward. Every event has copy events, and it does exactly what you would expect. So when you click it, you get basically a new draft copy, change whatever you need to and publish it, and you're off to the races. The metrics menu is interesting. When you click on people interested, you get a list of everybody who has clicked that little bookmark icon, so you can get an idea of who's not necessarily going to be there, but at least they've expressed interest. And you can download a list of those folks. Audience geography isn't all that interesting for our use case because almost everybody is within a few miles of Stanford. So you're free to look at it, but it's always pretty much a giant thing over here by Stanford, a little tiny one by me, and a little tiny one by Justin. For page views, of course, it'll show you the number of times your page has been viewed. It's helpful if you're doing promotion outside of localist via email or Twitter or some other channel. You can kind of track the views and compare them to when you did your promotional events to get an idea of how well your promotions are working. And then finally, admin activity is handy for an audit log. I was able to use it yesterday to track down why somebody ended up with 3 copies of the same event, and I could see who had done what when and explain to that manager what happened, and they could go back and correct whatever led to that event. And then inserting an image into the description of your event is fairly simple. The only thing you can't do is upload directly to localist. They don't allow you to store stuff in their library, so you have to upload it elsewhere. Get the URL for where that is, drop it into that image info tab. You can put in a link from that image to somewhere else, like you see in the animated GIF right now. And one other thing that's a little basic about it, they're always in line. They don't wrap. You can't wrap text around it unless you know how to do a little HTML. You can click that source button you see there in the toolbar and do a little CSS magic to make things wrap. So it's a little rudimentary, and we're asking them to improve it. But for right now, it's fairly basic. And there you go. I pass it off now to Justin and let him share his screen. Oh, and I'll note, Arena asked you to add your name to our guest book via a Google Doc link in Zoom chat. Take it away, Justin. You're mute.
Sorry about that. I'm talking to myself. All right. So first I'm going to talk about the differences between in-person, virtual, and hybrid events. Of course, specifically within Localist, I think we all know the differences in real life. But it's all predicated on this in the location field group, we'll call it. There's this experience field as the first one. So there's 3 choices: in person, virtual, and hybrid. So if you're setting up an in-person event, clearly you're going to want to use, an in-person event where people can physically come to the event, to the building, to the place where it's happening. You're going to want to choose in person, of course. What you'll see at first is event place and room. So if your location is registered in the Localist system, like Meyer Green is, or I can change this to say, I know Frost Amphitheater in here, the field has a little bit of type of a head to it. So locations that exist in the system will appear here below, as you see. And I can just click that and it will say linking to Frost Amphitheater. That means that the event's in the system, it has its location information, its address, and all that. So it will take that and display it on the page. We'll look at that in a moment. If you're in a building that has a particular room, there is a field for that. So whether it's a named room or a numbered room, you can add that in there. It's simply a text field, so it will output whatever string you put in there. If you have a location that is not registered in the system, you can type into here. So say I want home, not in there, but we're going to use home. The fields are dynamic, so it'll say, okay, home's not in the system. It will present you with an address field, directions field, and the room field will be there again. The critical one is the address field. If you put a street address in there, as we'll see on the page here in a moment, you'll get an embedded Google map on the page. So that's very helpful to people. If it's not in the system, you're going to want to put a street address in there so people can more easily find out how to get there if they don't already know. So if we look at the front end, I'm going to save this because it changed the location. So if we look at the front end of this in-person event, on the left over here, we'll see Frost Amphitheater is listed as the location next to the location marker icon. This hyperlinks to the page for Frost Amphitheater within Localist. So if I just open that in a new tab, you'll see here's a page that is a landing page, we'll call it, for Frost Amphitheater. It shows its location and then a list of upcoming and recent events. That's helpful from a UX perspective, but also below that, we put the, print out the street address. And then this view to map is simply a hyperlink, or an anchor link to the location section that's down here that has the embedded Google map. So if you have an on-campus location or a location that's in the system, it will populate this for you automatically. If you have to enter in the street address, it'll take that and drop it into a Google map, and it will embed the Google map here as well. So that's what to expect for specifically in-person event fields. If we look at the virtual event, here I've selected virtual. So if I go back over here to my empty event and click virtual, you'll see these empty fields. I have allowed Localist to integrate with my Zoom account here on my computer. So I have button here that says create Zoom meeting. If you have not sort of authenticated your Zoom with Localist, if you're an administrator, you may see a button that asks you if you want to add that integration. If you do, you can simply create the Zoom instance right here from Localist. You click this button and it will automatically fill in the dial-in instructions as you would get with any Zoom meeting that you set up within the Zoom app. And we'll also put the link to the stream, to the Zoom call right here in the stream URL field. At that point, you're set to go if you're using Zoom, and you click save. If you're not using Zoom or you don't want to authenticate Zoom with Localist, that's fine. You can copy paste that information directly into here, whether you're using Zoom or Teams or some other sort of conferencing service. And then you'll have the stream embed code. So if we go back over to here to the event that I've created, in this case, I didn't use the Zoom integration. I copy and pasted, lorem ipsum text into the dial-in instructions field. I put a generic, the stanford.edu URL into the stream URL field just for an example, but I have, you can see here, iframe embed code in the stream embed code. And if we look at the front end, what we have here is virtual event. This will hyperlink to the link in the stream URL field. So when people come there on the day, they can click that and it'll open the Zoom call or the stream call automatically. This view stream information, again, is an anchor link to the stream information page section that's below event details. So helpful, I would say probably mostly on mobile, where this might be at the top and it'll, scroll the user down to where they can get this information. This view stream link over here, again, will link to the stream URL field, whether it's a Zoom link or whatever. And here you can see for this purpose, I just embedded a YouTube video. But if you're, say, having your event on Zoom, but you're also using YouTube to stream it, if people want to anonymously watch it or whatever, you can, just like I did here, copy paste that embed code and the iframe will display right here. People could watch it directly from this page if they choose to do that. So that's the essentials of a virtual event. And then clearly a hybrid event would be, it's a combination of the two. I will say when we first launched, there was not a really clear indication when you would set up a hybrid event and you fill in the fields, it wasn't clear. So we've done some work in the templates to make sure it's a little more obvious to the end users that there's both an in-person and a virtual way to attend this event. So if you select hybrid, you will be presented with all of the fields for both in-person and a virtual event. And you have the ability to, add the information to each of those. Same here as with event place. This is already linked to a location that's in the system, Meyer Green. So we, again, don't have that address field. I could, again, create the Zoom meeting, but I haven't. I've used the same sort of generic stuff for this example. And if we look on the front end, though, you might notice that above where the location information or the stream information is, we put a little subheading that says in-person and online. And then the first thing in the list is the physical location. Same thing, links to the place page in the system. This anchor links to the location section of the page below event details. Stream online will again link to whatever's in the stream URL field, if that's your Zoom link or your Google Meet link or whatnot. And again, this is a hyperlink to the stream information. As you can see, I've embedded the same iframe here. So again, hybrid, it's obvious it's a mishmash of the two things, but I really wanted to make it obvious to people, and I kind of help event administrators understand that you really should pay attention to what type of event you're setting up here, because you do have some good user-friendly options that will display on the front end if you choose the right event and put the right information into the right fields. One more tip and trick. This isn't exactly, this would apply to any virtual, hybrid, or in-person event. I think I have it on the virtual event. Yes, you see down here, free event, register. So if you go to your event and you click this tickets and registration tab at the top, use localist register will always be unchecked. We have opted out of that module for the localist system. That's ticketing system that we weren't, there's other things on campus that deal with that. So we weren't gonna rely on localist for that. But if you use these two fields, you can get some things to display on the front end that are useful. If you put any variation of free, like free dash registration required, that will display on the front end. And if you put a registration URL, whether it's a Zoom registration or a Google form or some other place to register that people are coming to the event, what you'll get on the front end, and notice I have this blank here. So in my example, I have a blank ticket cost field. What you're seeing there is just placeholder text for the field. Registration URL, I have a URL in. I get free event, and I get a link that says register, and that will link to whatever's in the register URL field. If I put a dollar amount in here, $10, save this. The field is smart enough to recognize that that isn't free or some word like free. And it says $10, and then it says buy tickets. So same with the register link. If you're having people buy tickets on another ticketing system, this will, without you having to enter any text, it will know that there's a dollar amount in the field. It will see the URL, and it will display these two things on the front end. So that's, again, something I don't see a lot on any events. Maybe it's just that people don't have ticketed or registered necessary events, but good thing to know. So that's really all I had on that topic. Next, got some time left, so try to get through all these hot tips. Next, I wanted to talk a bit about image preparation and how best to sort of predictably prepare images for the events you might be entering. So the legacy system was set up to really only ever display square images. Every page display was a square image. When we first started working with Localist, it was not square images. They were more of a 16:9 or a more rectangular format. So we've styled the default front ends of all the pages being listing pages. We have event pages, square image, event detail page, group, department, or place landing pages all have square images as well. So we've done that because it appeared that people got in the habit of creating square images for the events calendar. So we sort of wanted to maintain that. The thing about Localist is that there are cases where if you're a user and you click this little layout switcher button, that displays. Those aren't the default displays, but the user has the ability to do that. So Localist doesn't accept simply square images by default. In order to help folks with that, I've created some templates. I've created both a Figma template and a Photoshop template that are both linked from our events help site. If you go to this create an event page, down to the photo section, you'll see two links here, one for Figma, one for the PSD. And you can use those. Here I have the template open. I created my image. Oftentimes what we see are images with text on them. Now, I will say that that's not great practice because that text isn't really accessible to people, and it can be unpredictable if people can actually read it or where it displays. But we see that a lot. So it helps if you're going to do that. If you need to do that, I've created an example here with text on it, and I just dropped that into my Photoshop template. And the active area, square area in localist will be this yellow square. The light yellow square gives you a little buffer around the edge. If you take this template, save this out at the dimensions that it is, you'll get a rectangular image. But if you load that into your event without doing any adjustment in localist, it will display the square in the center of all the pages that display that image. I've tested it enough to know that that works. If you do upload a square image, you can, my advice, I'll see if I can demonstrate this real quick. But what you're going to want to, if you upload a square image and you want it to show the whole thing, you want to upload it first, click save, then come back to the edit form, click this little pencil, and up here, adjust cropping. Go down to the square one and then just zoom it all the way out. Click this little slider and drag it all the way to the left. And if you save that, it will ensure that the whole square displays in all the square slots on the page.
But if you're going to go there, take the time to adjust every single one of those, because all of those are used in one way or another somewhere. So like in the default image at the top, move it so she's not getting cropped off at her eyebrows, that kind of thing. You can zoom in and out on them and stuff and get them all to the point where they look pretty decent, and then click save changes. But I want to reemphasize, don't use a lot of text in your images. It tends to be really small and hard to read. Put the text into the description, because that's where you'll get the SEO boost. That's accessible. Image and text text and images is not accessible. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's the basis. If you need any assistance, again, both templates are available for both Figma and Photoshop. If you need help with those, reach out in the events help channel. I can help you get oriented on how to best use those. They're annotated, as you can see, with all the dimensions and things, so that you can simply turn off. I've grouped these, so when you do that, you can just turn off the guides when you're ready to save out your image, so you don't get all this weird annotations.
All right, hit widgets. Okay. We're going to run out of time.
Okay, we're running up against it. What time? How much time we got left? 20 minutes? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
15. All right. 18 minutes. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Okay. Widgets. Widgets are the easiest way to display events on your website. Events directly from localist into your website. So if you go to this URL, it's events.stanford.edu/help/widget.
There's a link in the footer.
There is a link in the footer,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you come to with this form, it's a form basically to choose your template and filter out the types of events you want to see you want to display on your website. So if you click into the template field, you'll see all these available options. Everything below default are options that we've created custom for the system that are Stanfordized for display on any website. We've also taken the time to generally style all of the default options, so that if you use those, they, Stanford fonts, colors, and things like that come through. You can tailor everything how you want it, but say I wanted to display, I'm looking to display all of the Stanford WebCamp sessions on my website. I know that they are all set up as conference symposium event type. I know that Aaron and Irina, or whomever entered them in, used the engineering/technology subject. And I also have looked at a few of them, and I know they use the keyword WebCamp 2020 or WebCamp 22. So you see, I've got all those things selected. I'll choose the Stanford 4-column cards option. And if I click preview widget, I can see what that looks like. Clearly, this is the full width display here on this just example. So your website's going to have a restrained content area. So wherever you put this in, it will fit into that content column embedded. So you can go to this form, you can play with it as much as you want, select your different templates. If I wanted a one column, no images, we'll see what that looks like. So that's what that looks like. So you can fine tune here. It's something to note, like on these custom options, you can uncheck include styles. If you have development resources, you're a developer yourself, you like the markup, but you want to do something with the styles, you can uncheck include styles, embed the widget, and you can add a styles to your website style sheet and use the selectors on the markup to style it how you want it on your website.
I believe we try to make the selectors unique so they wouldn't collide with your own.
Yeah, every widget it has unique selectors. Yes, so even if you had two different widgets on a page, they should display as they're intended to. If you include styles, the style sheet comes in line, so everything's already styled for you. Let us know if you have any issues with that. But here's just some examples on stanford.edu, Stanford's homepage. This Stanford events section is a localist widget right here displaying these 4 events. If you go to Stanford report homepage, Stanford News, stanford.edu/report, this upcoming events, this is a localist widget as well.
And if you looked at the webcam site, that was also a localist widget. Sean DeArmond asked if there's a direct integration with Stanford sites. Yes, there's SWS developed a Drupal 9 event importer that pulls a JSON feed from our site and displays on Drupal sites, creates a content node. And I think a lot of use cases because people wanted to add custom fields that weren't available in Localist, so they could they could have kind of a bespoke display that uses their own metadata. So there's some big advantages to doing that way. One thing you lose is the direct live connection back to Localist, which the widgets give you. However, I believe it refresh every 4 hours. Justin, do you remember, or is it once a day? I think it does a refresh
twice a day, but I'll have to check that.
Yeah. So if you're on Stanford sites, reach out to them. They'll be able to give you the details on how that works.
That's as much as I have to offer right here on widgets. Again, let us know if you have more questions on that. Got 2 more things to cover: custom fields and bookmarking. So I'm going to try to get to both of those.
Yeah, thanks everybody commenting about it in chat. We are a WordPress shop, island in a Drupal ocean, so we don't know about this as much as the rest of you probably do.
But thanks to SWS for working with us and making that's a great
yes, fantastic
module to be able to include on your Stanford site. All right, custom fields was my next. So a couple of custom fields we've added that were, brought to our attention by different users, and we thought they'd be helpful, so we added them to the system. If you scroll to your events, if you're on your event edit page, you scroll down to the custom fields field group. First thing is you never want to do anything with legacy ID or origin ID. Just know that. Leave those alone. Nothing to see there. Those are mostly used for data migration from the legacy system to here. So please just leave these empty. There was no way to hide those, so you kind of have to leave them there. But restricted to and banner text are the 2 that we've added that could be useful to you. So restricted to was a way to, while you can select a variety of audiences here, we have a field for, where did they go? Audience, and there's all kinds of options for your audience there. Some people find that they need to really be very direct about who is invited. When we say students, we mean students. We don't mean students and everyone else who feels like they want to show up. So we added this restricted to field in order to add an element on the front end that would further emphasize who is invited. And then banner text was just really a field to add some information about the event that might otherwise get buried in the event details field as something you might want to call out. So I'll demonstrate here. I'm just going to add some stuff. I have a copy and paste here. So in my case, I want to restrict my event to only people with chocolate chip cookies in their pockets. And I'm going to say also only people with chewy chips ahoy or homemade cookies will be permitted. That ought to be a fun time. I'll save that. And here's what the page looked like before. So here's what you get up here. You get the restricted to banner is styled as you see. This restricted to, the words restricted to are automatically displayed. So really, you don't need to type that in. This is, and whatever's in the field will display after restricted to. Banner text has no text displayed by default. So this will literally output whatever you type into that field. So again, just a way to call out something that you might think would get buried down in here. It's not a WYSIWYG field as you saw. So it's really just, you can't bold or add extra paragraphs or things like that. So plain text and plain text up here. And that's the most important parts of sorry, lost my train of thought there. Custom fields. And the last thing to cover now is bookmarking, which is our latest and greatest feature. Some of you, if you were Events legacy system power users, you might be familiar with the bookmarking feature. Before we launched and definitely shortly after, we heard from users that they sorely missed the bookmarking feature. And while bookmarking isn't really a part of most calendaring off-the-shelf systems, it was a unique feature that was built into the legacy application that we had. So JB took some time to replicate that bookmarking feature, thankfully, and we're just about to release it to the wild. We have some people testing it out for us, but I'm going to show you how that works. This will be another thing that you're going to need to request through a Snow form. So you're going to have to go to the Snow form and tell us that you want the ability to add events to a custom feed and give us an idea of what that feed would be. If you work for the School of Engineering, say, I need the ability to add events to a custom feed for the School of Engineering. That way we can, there's an admin side to this. We can set you as the user up to administer the custom feed, and then we can give you the ability to add events to your custom feed. Once you have all that in place and you scroll to the bottom of event pages as you're logged in, next to the admin event editor button, you will see an add to custom feed button. If I click that, I'll come to this page and it gives me the name of the event that I clicked the button on, and this will link you back to that event. And then it gives me the feeds that I have been granted access to add events to. Oftentimes, there will be one option here. You may or may not have more than one. If you have one, it'll be selected by default. But here I can just choose JB test feed, add to selected feed. And now I get a success message that says, again, links back to the event. This event has been added to JB test feed. This is the critical piece here, whether you right click and copy link address or open that up in your browser and copy it from the address bar. That's the link to your JSON feed. It's a JSON formatted feed. It is formatted specifically for the Drupal importer module that Dave was talking about. So it's in the format that module expects, but that doesn't mean it only works with the Drupal importer module. If you have development resources that can work with JSON to display whatever you need to display on your website, you can absolutely use this this feed as an endpoint and get the data that you need on your website from the feed. So if you're using other technology to build your application, there's no reason you can't use this for a custom feed of events.
I'm not sure, for those who are unfamiliar, I'm not sure we made it clear what the reasoning for this was or why this exists. And it's because right now, using the tools in Localist, you could build a feed based on specific tags and departments and what have you. But what if you only want one event from a specific department? You don't want to get all 20 of them. You want to get just the one. This is the answer to that. You can go in and just choose that one event and have a feed of it. One thing we have to figure out or determine yet is whether we can pull from this customized feed and a category feed at the same time and meld them into one. That's further development. But for right now, I think you could just go ahead and do your completely manually curated feed this way.
Yeah, I'll just note that I have a JSON parsing plugin on my browser. So if you click that link, you might see something more like this. Don't be shocked. Don't think it's broken. I just have a plugin on my browser that allows me to see the JSON a little prettier than default. Did you have a question, Irina?
Yes, I want to say this is amazing feature. It will solve so many problems for so many people. I was wondering if this bookmarking is available to everyone now, or is it still in development, or what's the timeline on this?
Great question. We are about to release it to the wild. I would think in the next week we should be all set. I think yourself and there was a few other sort of introductory power users that were asking for this that we've given access, beta access to, we'll call it. But I think we're ready to roll. So we'll definitely be communicating about that. And I would say if you're a person who needs this, go and request the access now. We can do all that part of it, the administrative part of it, and you can play with it. You'll get the same functionality that I just demonstrated.
Yeah, and I mentioned early on that we're going to launch a blog. This is going to be the first post of that, and everybody who's, like I said, everybody who's an admin in the system will be added to that list, for the inaugural post. So everybody will know. That's how we'll let you know that it's out there.
Fantastic.
And of course, and we'll do an @ channel and the events help, and that kind of, we'll just span everybody with it.
Thank you. This is the best spam people can dream of. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, and I've got, let's go back to me. All right. We'll let you know that operators are standing by. Back to Dave. Thank you. I don't want to share. I want to put it on for crying out loud. Slideshow. All right. Yes. Operators are standing by. So we do have multiple channels to reach us. Events-help.stanford, as you've seen. Events-calendar-help in Slack. Those last two links are to two of our snow forms. And again, when we share this deck, you'll be able to get to all of them by those links. So it is now time for the usual. Does anybody have any questions? And I'll stop sharing. Opening the floor for everybody. You know what? I had a question. I see several people here from UTC, from University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Are you users of Localist? Or are you considering it now?
We're considering. Our flagship campus is using it, and we're using an older product called the Master Calendar that we're going to need to replace.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for us?
Maybe I could ask this question.
Sure.
Go ahead.
The custom feeds that you just demonstrated, that's totally separate really from Localist, right? Yeah.
Yeah. What I didn't point out was that it actually takes you to a page on our events legacy. We've kept our events legacy system running until I think December, we're saying, only because there's people who need it for that time being, but it goes over to that site to run that application. because yeah, it's not a localist feature.
But
We
if
have this.
if you're considering you need something like that, we'd be happy to share what we've
Yeah.
done, share code, whatever, and we're open to that.
Okay, yeah, thanks. I'll make a note of that. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, this is my email address in Zoom chat. For anybody who needs it, feel free to reach out.
And I don't remember if you mentioned this, Dave, but it was kind of born like we realized people could use the widgets and use the Drupal importer module they could narrow in by filtering through some like the fields that I showed, event type or department or whatnot. But then it was like, well, we want to show we're using localist to put our department's events in. We want to display our events on our website, but we also want to pick a few other ones that might be of interest to, say, student engineers or whatnot. And that's kind of where that really comes into play, I think, a lot. You know, of course, you could have a fully curated custom feed of just the only things you want to see, but it's really nice to be able to say, okay, we're using it for this. But we also just want to like cherry pick things that are also of interest, you know, without getting every event that's a lecture or something like that, right?
Another thing you can do, like Irina and Aaron did for the events for the WebCamp calendar, they used WebCamp as one tag and used WebCamp 22, and then they had WebCamp 22 Thursday and Friday to split those out into 2 different pages on the WebCamp page, and those are visible. So when you're on Localist, you can click that and see all the other ones that share that tag, which is really cool. If you did the same thing in keywords, you can use keywords for the same purpose, but you can use anything you want because they're not visible to anybody. So if you want to be really specific or use code words or what have you, you can do that using keywords, and you can use the widget to pull against those keywords, but nobody will ever see, you know, the way you're handling the taxonomy. So that might be an interesting way to split out subsets of events on your own site based on subject matter or what have you. Justin and JB and I are going to hire ourselves out. We're going to moonlight as Localist consultants. We'll work for coffee.
Maybe Justin and Dave will. So. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, we just talked about bookmarking. There were questions about when we intend to launch, JB.
No later than Monday. So so I can actually turn that on this evening.
Look at that. Her internet connection doesn't agree.
Let's celebrate. This is such great news.
Okay. Oh, good.
It saves hours, not only hours of work, but also a lot of headache, and allowing people to actually deliver content to their audiences.
Great.
It's
great.
Super cool.
Yep. Well, there was hours of work and a few headaches, but it was just on this side. So I'm glad that it saved that for the rest of you. So better that one of us takes it on than several people independently. So anyway, there still may be some kinks to work out, but I do think ultimately we can make this super smooth. So I can go ahead and make that button available. I might as well do it this afternoon, but we're just going to get hit with several requests. I presume, Dave, you mentioned, or Justin, that people have to register, so you have to let us know that which Localist users want to use the feature and what feeds they need. So and that's setting that up will be a manual process, so it might take a day or two before we can get you set up to use it, but I can make the button available today.
Here, I'm going to put, here's a link to, a link to that snow form. I don't, do links work in here? Let me try this. Yeah, there you go. There's a link. That'll take you to the snow form. Okay.
Oh, that is super cool.
All right.
I think we have another one for
Dave, JB, and I to go to now, or to present now. Is that right?
Oh, we do yeah. Anybody in here uses WordPress other than us? We have
Yes.
WordPress boss now. All
Yep,
right.
reach out and events help. We're always keeping an eye on it. So if you're a user and if you're from another place and you need to have questions about getting up and running with Localist, let us know.
Thank
got
you
it.
so much for presenting. Can I ask you guys to